All right. Sorry about that, everyone that had a dead audio. I haven't done a poolside chat in a while, and obviously I'm not the best audio visual guy. Uh, anyways, wanted to talk about investing in the fears. Listen, I would be most fearful if I didn't invest. That'd be the scariest thing in the world is not investing. But unfortunately, a lot of people have gotten hurt, gotten damaged, sometimes by their own. By their own, they damage themselves. They made a bad investment. They probably didn't do their due diligence. That's usually always the case, right? And or they trusted somebody, and that's a big mistake too. So we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that.
It's the best thing I ever did.
So those of you that are getting here that are new, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I've been investing in real estate for 42 years, made tens of millions of dollars doing it, and now I have a mentorship, and a lot of my mentees have become millionaires, real estate millionaires in a fairly short time. And it's a very cool and gratifying thing to see happen for me particularly, only because it confirmed that it's a teachable skill. And I'll tell you, nothing feels better than seeing a guy that doesn't see a clear path. I say mainly a guy, for women too, but I don't have that many women in my class, and I wish I had more. But I'm 95% men, 90% men probably. But women, don't be afraid. You should be in there. We got some of the best and brightest. It really, that goes for my entire mentorship. The people, you'd be honored to be in the class with the people that I have in the mentorship, because I vet everybody. I don't let just anybody in. And it's not about money. I don't care if you're a millionaire. It doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't matter. I mean, I have millionaires in the class already, people that have done very well in life, but not particularly at real estate, but that's what they want to learn about. Or maybe they have made millions in real estate, but they want to learn more about commercial real estate, or industrial type real estate, or office. They've had houses. They made a lot of money in houses. They make a lot of money in a lot of different ways. And by the way, I've got the call up line here. If anybody wants to call in, love for somebody to call in and talk about your fears or some of your concerns. I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people. I've got people that have been burned by fake gurus, basically, or just bad, investment schemes. And I've had other people that just blew it all on their own. Anybody can make a mistake. You just got to win more than you lose. And people think, "Oh, I know, I'm sure you've made a lot of mistakes," and I made some, but to be honest, I learned really quick, so I don't make that many mistakes. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, there we go. Uh, I thought, we could look at a number of things here if you guys want to. But so let me give you guys a call-in number. Number one. Let me see here. If anybody wants to call in, that'd be great. Of course, I don't have my son here helping me, so I'm a little bit lost here. But I'll have it up here in a second. Here we go. All right. So look, that's the call-in. Oops, that didn't work. I'm going to give you the call-in number in a second, and you can call in if you want to. And what do you fear most? I mean, do you have or is it a lack of faith in the economy, or is it a lack of faith in yourself from a mistake that you've made? I mean, I've heard a lot of different things, from a lot of different people. And also, you can get in the chat here too if you guys want. Sorry, I got too many things going here. Anyways, so I because I got involved with real estate when I was 19 years old, I didn't have anything to lose. I didn't have anything. I come from very modest means family. We were actually quite poor when I was younger. Parents divorced, and on welfare, that sort of thing. And so I think that was a big incentive for me to make money. And also, you had to be really careful with your money. There was no real allowance. I mean, I think I remember getting 35 cents a week for a while there when times were good, but for the most part, there was no allowance. And it was more like do side jobs, mow the neighbor's yard, or stuff like that. A fear of not finding a deal worthy. Fear of not finding a deal worthy. You mean, I guess you mean a deal that's good enough? Well, that should be your biggest fear. You don't want to buy. Listen, people. I say it to all my students: easy to do, hard to undo. There's nothing worse than making a mistake, And I've got people that have been ripped off and misled and gotten in with fake gurus, and they went through and realized there was no mentoring because the guy that sold them the course didn't know what they're doing, and that's the case with most of the fake gurus out there. To be quite honest, none of them could mentor because they don't know. They're like a car salesman, and you see them switch gears. How many people have you watched that claim to have an expertise in real estate? Next thing you know, they went to NFTs or whatever, Bitcoin, stocks, then all of a sudden they're an expert at everything, and then they start to lose their ass and get burned, and then they change back to real estate, and then they lose their ass and get burned, and then they're jumping to something else. There's all kinds of stuff, but a lot of people, they don't even need help from a fake guru. They'll make their own mistakes, and that's okay, and I have made some, but for the most part, to be honest, I think it's the discipline of being broke and starting a business so young and not having a hedge. I didn't have a back out. I didn't have a family that could underwrite me through my mistakes. So if it was sink or swim, and that's one of the reasons why I own so much commercial, industrial, and office type real estate. It's because it's my faith in entrepreneurs. People that are entrepreneurs that are self-employed, they will never work for anybody else. I mean, if they do, it's because they have to. But they will never work for anybody else because it's just too painful, or it's just not profitable enough. So there's the number there if anybody wants to call in. And I'm realizing I'm not paying attention to the numbers. If anybody did call in, I might not even know it. But I'll tell you, it's really cool, the group that I have in my mentorship, because everybody is extremely honest with each other and extremely successful when they do make a deal. And those of you that just get in here again, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And you don't want my channel to get away from you. But just real quickly, I'm just going to show you briefly, because these are some of the newest millionaires. Jerry here, a great guy. He's a pastor, his church. He was actually just marrying a couple a week or two ago. And, he made $2 million, more than $2 million. Right? He got a $3.5 million building for like $975,000, like $42 a foot on 24,000 square feet. This building, he will never, he would never have to work again. I mean, if he got hurt or disabled, he could retire just on the income from this one building. And Josh here, you see off my other shoulder here, wherever it is, he's almost made $1 million in land now. And, this gentleman here, he's a super guy, Shane. He just got in the mentorship probably 9 months ago. He's already made over $200,000. Chris here, he's already quit his job. He's already made 3 to 4 times as much in 1 year now. In 10 months, actually, he's made 3 to 4 times what he made at his job that he quit. He used to work for the church. He quit his job at the church, and now he volunteers for the church, and he's making 3 times more money, and he owns his own schedule. It's a beautiful thing. And Rich here too, he loves his job, but he could quit. He's made over $1.3 million, and he really had probably the most excellent timing of anybody in the class. He actually realized $800,000 profit on one property. And then a couple $100,000 on 2 more properties, pieces of land. And then he rolled those into industrial properties. He's got 2 nice industrial buildings, and he's got 2 nice commercial properties. And now he's got, $150,000 a year or something like that. He was explaining to me. And all these people that you see here, it's success at all different levels, but from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. And what is the fear for you guys watching now? What is your fear from, making an investment. And I mean, it's good to be fearful. It's good to be careful. It's good to be skeptical. I tell everybody you should be. It's easy to make a mistake. And, a lot of people, if you jump onto something, in fact, when I've made a mistake, it's usually because I've been careless, got complacent, and, those things happen too. But PGM, what'd you say earlier? Yeah, fear of not finding a deal that's worthy. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure I quite follow you, but I think I do. You don't listen. You want to not find a deal that's worthy, or you don't have to look. Most of the deals aren't worthy. Most of the stuff that's on the MLS, most of the stuff that listed is not worthy of buying because they're asking full market value. Now you can negotiate them and you can bring them down. A lot of people think everything I buy is off market. That's not true. Sometimes I identify a jewel that other people don't. A lot of times I just get there first. I mean, like these are all these blue dots you see here. These are all assets that I own or I have owned. If I own them, they're definitely good properties to own. And if I've sold them, it just means I made a lot of money on them. But to give you an example, like these are the kinds of assets that that you can retire on. Like a building like this. And I actually built this building about 20 years ago. This building is a 16,000 square foot office building. And it's beautiful. And I could live on that alone. I could live on the income just from one building. Ulysses wrote, at the beginning, a mistake can wipe you out and it would be hard to start back up again. Well, that's true, Ulysses. And the older you are, the more fearful you are of having to start over, or you're afraid of, maybe what little you got, you're afraid of losing that and then really having nothing. So I appreciate you sharing, but that's definitely the kind of things that, hey, listen, everybody has that worry. Even I have that worry. I mean, of course, I'm not going to make that big a mistake ever, but it should never feel like gambling. I can tell you that's the secret to success is when you invest, and I tell everybody in my class, you don't buy unless it feels like Christmas. If it doesn't feel like Christmas, you don't buy it. I had a new student call me today, and he had a thing, and he was saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I said, "Well, look, if you get it $200,000 off $1 million property," I go, "It's not enough." I go, because when you get $200,000 off, and look, we're in a little bit of a declining market. I mean, 20% off doesn't mean much because just to resell it, it's going to just consider that it's going to cost you 10% to sell it, just between holding it, real estate costs, and you don't always have to spend 6% on agents, but usually you do, and in a downturn you better because you want it in the MLS. If you got a property you want to get rid of, listen, first of all, get my book. If you don't have my book, get my book. Just the book alone will save you a fortune if you have property to sell. Or it'll help you give you some guidance on what you should do, number one. But I've got people that made a lot of money just reading my book and then later on join the mentorship. But it's a no-brainer if you don't own a home and you intend to buy a home, get my book and consider getting in the mentorship. And I'm sitting here, I forgot I should be plugging the Black Friday sale because that's still going on right now. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, here's Black Friday, by the way. I'll move this down so you can see that. But there is a Black Friday sale going on right now. And you can get into the mentorship at a price less than you will ever be able to get into it, ever. And so, so look, I want you to, this is why people, I know there's no mentor out there that can help you as much as I can. Even somebody that's maybe a wealthier one, these are the kinds of assets. Look at, these are houses. I made over $1 million just on what you see right there. And I bought, I bought twice that in the neighborhood. These are all homes that I've owned that you see back here. And every time I buy a property, I can sell it for more than I paid for it. Now, if the market's hot and it's ascending, I may hold on to it because I know that I've got the safety net that I bought it for maybe $100,000 or 35. It could be $500,000 or $800,000 under market, depending on what I buy. Yeah, I give you an example. Like this is a building I bought and I still own. It's worth millions of dollars. It brings in hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in rent. That one right there. This is just a big, industrial, what we call an industrial flex building. See it behind me there? There you go. Anyhow, it's glass front. Anyway, it's a beautiful concrete tilt-up building. No, PGM, 20% off would not be Christmas. See, that's a good one. So PGM, you wrote fear of finding a deal worthy. 20% off is not a worthy deal. You're not going to get rich. You're not going to make any money, or you're not going to make enough money fast enough if you screw around with those kind of margins. You got to make a lot more than that. And I can tell you this building here, that when I bought, I got to show you over here. This building here, I bought that for $1.2 million, and it was worth $1.7 million the day that I bought it. In fact, somebody offered me $1.7 million for it. Unsolicited, I didn't, seek a solicitation, but somebody came to me and they offered me $1.7 million right after I bought it for $1.2 million. And other deals, same thing. This property here, in fact, I bought these two properties together. This is a little school actually right there, and they've been a good tenant. They've paid me, about $100,000 a year for a very long time, and and I've got other ones. This is a neat one here, if I can show you. Yeah, this is one is really cool too. This is one that I bought, and this little place you see right here, behind my head. I got to keep forgetting I'm in the middle of my screen. That one there, I bought that for like $120,000, and it was worth. Let me see if I can get my head out of the way here. And I sold it for like $270 almost immediately after that. I'll push my head off. I prefer over here, I guess. So these are the kinds of things that you can do. And look, just to sum it up and make it even easier for you guys, look at this. Look at this. This is really a good one. I've got all kinds of examples, but this is a property. Let me show you this one. This is a property I made over $1 million on, more like $1.5 million. This is an industrial property. Can I get down in there? Oh yeah, check it out. I can show you right up front. This is a property right there. It's got a loading dock. This is like a 12,000 square foot brick building. It's actually two buildings, which is kind of interesting. I'll show you. This is kind of funny. Check this out. It's actually two buildings. This is a building here, and this is a building here, and then they connected them. This used to be just the separation between the two buildings, but they actually connected the buildings with a hallway. And, that property paid me, $60,000, $90,000 a year for a very long time. And why would I sell it? Well, first of all, I bought it for $225,000. I sold it for $1,725,000, right? So I made over $1 million, almost $1.5 million. Really, I made more than that. If you count rents, probably a couple million. But and why would I sell that? Well, I sold it to buy something that really had some legs. If I can find it out here, yeah, it's out here. So I bought it to buy this building. This is a 17,000 square foot building on a major thoroughfare. That's a 5-lane road that you see right here. And and these are the kinds of things that ultimately I try to put, get all my students to have. And, this is just it's got a karate studio and a vet and a hairstylist, I think, and some loan guys in there and a few others. These are the kinds of things. G and RE. Oh, hey, thanks. He says, wow, great to have you back. YouTube, for some reason, kicked you out of my algorithm. Just now noticing that I'm subscribed. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I know sometimes people tell me that YouTube is basically just ghosted me from everybody else. And I've said some things that maybe they don't like. I don't know. But regardless, glad you're here. Thank you. But this building here, I paid $2.8 million for it, and I think it's worth considerably more. That's why I sold the building that I made $1.5 million on. I took that money and I rolled it into this. And these are the things, and there's just all kinds of examples like this. Let me see if I can show you another one. I don't know why. All right. So I take you out here. So land, a lot of people get into my class because they want to learn about land. I made $2.5 million on this piece of land you see right here. All these homes. I rezoned this property too. This was a failed trailer park. This was a failed trailer park here, but it was connected to another 35 acres. So I got 50 acres there, and and there's just so many ways, And let me see if I can show you guys anything else here. Yeah. So even going back, no, that's Texas. Here, I'll take you to California. These are buildings that I bought in California more than 30 years ago. And this is when I was in my 20s, and made a lot of money. And then land, look, I'll show you out here. This was a piece of land I bought. Actually had kind of a crappy little HUD house on it. But you know what? I had to sell it to the city for this overpass, right? If you can anticipate, and I knew the overpass was coming. It's called the peripheral loop. There's actually two overpasses about 6 miles apart. But out here I bought 70 acres. That was a big one. I made like $380,000, or $350 roughly. Sorry, I meant to say I was unsubscribed, but now I'm subscribed. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for subscribing. So look, I was hoping to elicit a call here. I know I haven't been out here in a long time, but if somebody wants to call and talk about real estate or whatever fears you might have, and even a seasoned professional, has got to be a little bit fearful right now, or should be cautious. I've got a lot of equity with most everything that I have, and I've got a lot, so I don't worry too much, but I don't over leverage. I mean, I used to, I don't mind pushing things once in a while, but right now it's not a good time to do that because there's just too much. I mean, you should always buy, and don't get me wrong, I bought 2 houses, and I'm trying to buy a third right now over the last few years, and I'm sorry, over the last 2 months, I bought 2 houses, but I bought about $10 million or a little more than $10 million worth of real estate in the last, say, three years. So I'm definitely active, and really everybody should be. Hey, by the way, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you're new here. Anyways, I just want to remind people that the Black Friday sale still on. I guess they call this Cyber Monday. Can't really keep up with it. And welcome new members, by the way. But properties like this, land, and just to understand, look, I know how I made my money and where my money comes from. But I don't know where everybody else's comes from. In other words, there's a lot of cash out there. Don't think for a second that there isn't a lot of cash out there. There is. And it's mind-blowing when somebody can pay cash for a property, or somebody young has $1 million, but those people are out there. And so a lot of people think, well, who's going to buy this? Believe me, there's always somebody out there that's going to buy this, and so if you buy a property under market, you can resell it at or below market. That's your hedge. That's why I say PGM, you got to do better than 20% off. You got to push like 35% off or 40% off, or sometimes you can do even far better than that. You can get 80% off. A lot of people don't understand that's possible, and I get that because you just don't know what you don't know. And but I've got I got students that have made some killer deals, bought stuff for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar what it's worth. And you reap the rewards if you do your due diligence, and if you have a good hard work ethic, and you're serious about making money, then consider signing up for the webinar. Get in, take the mentorship survey, and I'll chat with you. And you do that here. You go to FlipAnythingUSA.com, and you go up here to the corner here, webinar. You can sign up for that. Our mentoring survey, that's probably one of the best things you can do. Sign up for the mentoring survey. And, the first thing I'm going to ask you on the mentoring survey, by the way, is if you got my book. There's my book. Everybody should have that book. Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Like I say, it's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle, and I urge you to get it. There it is again. Let's see. What's Kevin doing? Good evening. I don't know. What's Kevin doing? I guess that's you. PGM. Okay, I'll keep the PGM you got to. Listen, that's the problem. If you keep your standards so you just want to buy stuff 20% off, you'll run out of money like that. Finding stuff 20% off is easy. Okay, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And in turbulent times, when you're in a declining market like we are right now, you're riding it too close. Listen, I buy property that's in a declining market with the intention of selling, but I know that I'm going to buy and I'm going to flip it. And I still have a significant margin. In fact, I'm going to prove it out here pretty soon, because the property that I bought 2 months ago, it's wrapping up right now. It'll be going on the market here within the next couple of weeks. And when it closes, I want it to close in January, ideally, for tax purposes. But that one you're going to see. You'll see the numbers. And I anticipated it's going to be 100+ profit just on that one property. And this is buying when everybody, most people are telling you, oh, don't buy anything, it's too expensive. And listen, everybody has an excuse. People will tell you, oh, don't buy now, the market's too hot. Oh, no, don't buy now, the market's too slow. Really? Well, when is it just right? It's like the baby bears, right? The mama bears or papa bear's chair or baby bear. One's too soft, one's too hard, one's too small. Whatever. Everybody's got an excuse. Ulysses wrote, do you work with a particular agents that find you deals? No. I know. No, I don't. I wish there was such a thing. There's not agents that are going to find you deals, okay? You have to earn that and work for that. And even then, listen, I've made a lot of great deals because of real estate agents. But usually they bring me something because they want a commission, and I move on it quickly. And that's the game. That's their job, is produce a listing for you to look at that they think might be in your ballpark or to your standards, and you look at it quickly. And if you know what you're doing, you go, I'll take it. Let's get it signed. Get it done. They get a commission. You get the profit. And look, I got a guy in my class named Herb. He's a real estate agent in New York, and he says in his interview, watch his interview, by the way, he's in there, and he says, he goes, I see other people making money, and the investors making money, and he goes, and I'm just making a commission. And so he got into the mentorship, and he almost immediately, he got a house under market. It needed a little rehab. He was determined to do it himself, and I kind of helped him, walk him through, how to get subs. And he is not a skilled guy, so he's not networked or in with other, people of the trades. So, so that's okay. There's a way around that, and he managed, and he got the job done. He made $105,000 in a relatively short period. Ulysses, when it comes to agents, you always want to. There's a methodology that you'll learn in the class, and anyways, that's Eric. Get the book, and you'll learn a lot too. But hey, I just wanted to check in here. It's been a while since I did a poolside chat, and I really sincerely thank the people that have gotten into my mentorship here recently. It takes, there's got to be a certain amount of trust and faith, and And I tell everybody, be skeptical. And everybody knows that I don't let everybody in that wants to get in the class. But the bottom line is those of you that do, put your faith in the class and the course. I appreciate you doing so. And, nobody regrets it. I can tell you that. Nobody regrets it. Everybody knows when they get in the door, they know they made the right decision. A lot of people, they'll get into some, crap course that somebody threw together that, can't mentor because they actually haven't done the things that they're, referring to. And so they can't be of any help to you. Or a lot of times they have students helping students, and when their students haven't even really learned anything yet. And that's a nightmare. And where I'll tell you, in my class, the students are bright. They're smart, and they're making things happen. Some of them are doing things that I've never done. I had a guy that he's made damn near $1 million on one deal. And he made $800,000 for sure on another deal. But he actually got a deal 0% down, 0 down, and 0% interest. So every payment was going toward principal on day one. Pretty amazing. And these are the kinds of things that can happen. So anyways, I think I'm going to call it quits here. Nobody's called in, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But I think I'm going to call it a night. Like I said, I actually been working. My hands are actually kind of cut up here. I come in, I have tile work being done, and I have heated floors going in. And I realized that the floor guys, they made a mistake, and so did the pre-wiring. There was a little issue there that should have been handled a little better. I saw it, and I made it. It's my fault in the end because I saw, but I assumed. I said, I know they'll take care of that, or they're not going to do that before I get back, or before somebody else gets back. And sure enough, it didn't get addressed, and it got cemented over. And so I was in there with a screwdriver, chipping things out, making things work. And but that's how you got to do it. You got to take responsibility for everything. You got to watch everything. Don't put your faith in people. Don't people. This is one of the reasons I don't really like having employees. And I have employees, and I have great ones. Don't get me wrong, but nobody cares like you do. And with real estate, you don't need any employees, really. You don't need any employees unless you have a lot of property, and I do. Then you need employees. But to make, you can make tens of millions of dollars and without ever having an employee, and because that's just the nature of the beast. You buy it under market, resell it, make your money. If you have rentals, you have your rentals, and you have a manager that manages that property. And that could be an independent or it could be a full-time employee. That's up to you. But anyways, again, thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you guys in a webinar or something. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face-to-face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years.